Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is the Hammered Airsoft Smith, and this is pretty much an updated full disassembly video of the WE M1911A1 gas blowback airsoft pistol. I haven't done one in like 10 years, and I've had so many requests and so many complaints about how shitty or the quality was or whatever, so here you go. If you have one of these and you don't know how to field strip it, then it's not bad. Safety check. No magazine. Nothing in the chamber. Field strip. Slide stop. Guide rod. Coil spring. Coil plug. Barrel bushing. Outer barrel and inner barrel assembly. Just remove this screw. This will come off. These are really finicky, so I won't be disassembling that. Oh well, too bad, because I'm not wasting money trying to do this, because that is the fatal flaw, part 71 or something like that. Just buy a bunch of those, because you'll need them. Screw here. The back of the slide where the firing pin would be. And I use one of these to get it out. My thumb will go here. My pointer finger will go on the nozzle. Sometimes it's pretty easy. Sometimes not so much. Turn this nozzle out like so. I think I did that because there was moisture or whatever in there that I didn't want there. Use a screwdriver to loosen that, and it'll just come off. Pretty simple. And then there'll be your nozzle return spring. So the slide is fully disassembled. Take this pin out. Mainspring pin. Mainspring housing will slide out the bottom. There's a cup in there with a spring. It's your hammer spring and hammer cup. there's a copper pin there. You gently push the pin out. Careful not to lose it. Here's the cup. Here's the spring. Cock the hammer all the way. Flip the safety all the way up. I have it like so. And then I'm going to remove the grip safety carefully, because the plunger pins and spring can fly out. That's why it's good to have something down underneath to catch it. Some safety plunger. Plunger spring. Grip safety. Some safety. And the rear, the back strap, we got a relief spring. And for me, it seems like a lot of the time the slide stop plunger doesn't just fall out, which is fine. I mean, you can pop it out sticking a small enough screwdriver or punch in there, but it's not coming out. Then don't worry about it unless you absolutely need it out. Otherwise, just push it all the way out. You only need to loosen this screw here for now. Don't take it all the way out, just loosen it for now. Then the Phillips screw you take all the way out. A little Loctite on there. The way WE designed their 1911s, this section here will come out with the tang. It's kind of like the valve activator housing. You don't want to pinch by the rail and the tang and try to ease it out. If it doesn't, don't force it. Loosen that flathead a little bit more. Try again until it lets you just ease it out. Because that's holding a spring. Okay. Remove the spring. Hold it in place as you drive it off the edge there. Careful, because it is thin. You don't want to bend it at all. Sure you guys can see that spring. We'll sit there for now. It's a valve knocker or activator. And in here, we have a Phillips Careful, because there's a spring in here under tension. Screw and easily separate these. There'll be a spring and a tab. Got this piece here. the tab that resets or readies the valve activator. And you have a little spring here. Let's sit this down while I put the screw back in. That's secure. Be sure there's good spring tension there, which there is. Says a nub on this side. That goes in to that cutout, that slot, as you kind of weave it. So it protrudes out here. Then this part of the spring needs to go into that slot. While the other side of the spring, that side, will sit on the screw, that copper colored screw. So I loop this from the back into the slot. While putting the screw over. I made a mistake. The part that I said is supposed to rest on the screw does not rest on the screw. The spring itself rests on the screw, but this part here, you can hardly see it, goes behind this. Hold the valve activator in place as you do it. So that's that for now. The hammer will just come out. And then you have your sear. Your disconnector will come out. Sometimes you have to like fondle it or just shake it to come out. It's not gonna break. Not that easily. That's your disconnector. In order to take the trigger out, we gotta take the mag catch out. Depress the mag catch. Turn the flathead screw just a little bit. And then you can take the screw, turn it. They take the retention screw and spring out. Now you can take your trigger out. Take it out from the back. You got your trigger bow. To remove the bow from the trigger, you have to pop this pin out. Which is a pain in the ass. Then remove the grip, and of course this would be completely disassembled. Trigger goes back in first, of course. Never want to be that person who goes and fully disassembles the frame and forgets to put the trigger in. Now to set the mag catch back in, you don't have to depress it. Just turn the screw right until you hear it lock. Test it out, of course, which it's fine. Disconnector. Sits in there like that. Put the sear into this pin. Goes into this hole. This is the top. This is the bottom. Take your hammer. Just sits in when you hear it clicking. Set. Take this section here. Be sure the hammer is down. And just ease it back in on a cant like so. Till it pops into place. And then immediately tighten this screw. Because you don't want that little spring to pop loose and bounce around in there. Take the Phillips screw. I like to hold the tang and everything in place that you can't see. You just kind of hold it in place as you tighten. It's advised to put Loctite on all the screws. For the most part. This one especially, because this one under the inner shirt blowback will get loose. It'll be much more shaky than this one. Keep in mind, this is a very old Airsoft gun. It's 15, so its tolerances aren't the best. Leaf spring. It's easier if you have the hammer strut out of the way. That edge goes into that slot. And of course, make sure the middle finger is on the back of the sear, which it is. And then make sure the right finger is on the back of your disconnector, which mine is. Don't let them go under. Your mainspring housing. To about here. And then this guide, if you need to use a screwdriver or something, just guide the strut back into the canal where the spring and cup are. Okay. Don't push it all the way up yet. Get your beaver tail. Install that. Hold the beaver tail in place. Then push the mainspring all the way up. Hold it in place. You're gonna have to. You have no choice. and take the mainspring pin. It should only go in one way and come out one way. So mine comes out to the side. You can see the dimple. Alright, cock the hammer all the way back. Insert the plunger if you haven't. Like I said before, you may not even have to take it out. Depends on what you're doing, I guess. It usually gets stuck inside there, which is fine. This part can be a little tricky-dicky. This pin. Get a fly head. Preferably somewhat long of a fly head. Just sit the thumb safety in. Sometimes you have to push the grip safety a little bit to kind of line up the holes so it will drop. Do not drop the thumb safety all the way. Instead, drop it to about there. You can even see. Now fully depress that thumb safety pin with the fly head while pushing the thumb safety all the way down. Like I said before, you might have to kind of depress the grip safety a little when you do this. When this is all the way down and locked, which it is, you can let go of the tension of the plunger. Flip the thumb safety down, because if it flips all the way up, it will go flying. This would be a good time to function test the frame. Pull the trigger without depressing the grip safety. Okay, flip the thumb safety up, but again, be gentle, because you don't want to lose the pin. Okay, so all the safeties work. Thumb safety down, grip safety depressed, pull the trigger, does the hammer drop? And yes, it does. The other thing is to cock the hammer, depress this. That readies the valve knocker. And then when you drop the hammer, this one's a little tricky. That should come back up when the hammer falls completely forward. There you go. Could have done that. Sorry, didn't realize I was out of frame. But pretty much put that down and it resets. So when the slide rides back after firing a shot, it will push this down automatically. Grips back on. As always, never over tighten. So frame is done. Get the slide. Reassemble this. Like I said earlier, it's way easy to take that off. I'm just cutting time because I don't feel like doing two parts of a video. So you put the piston head back on. Loading nozzle. This piece needs to slide up into there. But you put it in on an angle. Like so. Then pop in like so. Now it's a return spring. The tighter the coils go against the plastic piece that rides in that channel. Be careful. You don't want this to go flying. You'll see there are slots in the slide. Here inside the slide. Can't really see that, but there's one there as well. That's where these thick pieces slide into. And if done right, which we'll find out in a second, get the Allen screw or hex screw, whatever. Place it back in where the firing pin would be. Probably put Loctite on that screw as well, because over time the hammer hitting that screw, it will get loose. Now let's see if it was done right. Yeah, definitely working perfectly fine. That's just stupendous. Make sure this lug is all the way forward. Slide it all the way back. Okay. Your barrel bushing. Coil plug. Guide rod and recoil spring. Be very careful when I'm using a GI guide rod, as it's short. It doesn't have much retention, so it could fling out. Just kind of rest your thumb on it. You don't need to push on it or nothing. Just make sure it stays in place. Once you get it over the dust cover, you have nothing to worry about with the guide rod. Got the hair all the way back. Putting the slide all the way back. Kind of like the thumb safety, don't drop the slide stop in all the way just yet. Line up that notch. Pop it in. Alright. Passed all its function tests. So there you have it. Instead of it being recorded with potato, it's recorded with fucking pineapple. Alright everybody, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope this video was helpful. Peace.